Hello, welcome to Unlock Church, everybody. My name is Joey.
And I'm Michaela.
And if you're jumping over from the One Wheel video, welcome. If you are just joining us now, welcome. But Michaela, what did you think about? What did you think about that One Wheel race today?
Well, all I can say is I'm super proud of this guy right here.
Let's go, baby!
Alright, tone it down a notch, but no.
I'm excited. Like, I finally beat Scott.
It's a good day.
It's a wonderful day. And if you didn't notice, Scott we had one lap plan, and then of course he lost, and he's like, alright, let's do one more. And I won that one too. So I am proud, but Scott, actually, he has an unbelievable message for today. I'm excited for you to hear that message. And then Kristen and Brian also have some amazing worship. But before we go to Kristen and Brian for worship, Michaela and I have been practicing this new dance. And we just wanted you to check it out. If you know Michaela's obsessed with dancing, and I'm not a good dancer, but she drags me along. And so,
it's in my blood.
It is in her blood. And so here is a video of us dancing. Check it out.
When the song come on, let me see you get gone. Baby mama, this your song. Been pregnant for way too long. Now tell the DJ turn it on.
If she a baby mama, she gon' do that baby mama.
Work.
She gon' put it on you. She gon' do that baby mama. Drop it down, drop it down, down low. Drop it down, drop it down, down low. Drop it down, drop it down, down low. Do that baby mama when I step out on the floor. 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4. Hit the baby mama when I'm stepping through the door. Yeah, I'm pregnant, but I got an ill flow. Tryna make some money, buy some Huggies from the store. S to the T, A, double R, K, to the E, I, S, A, J. And I don't play, doing my way. Preggo, but I'm still doing moves like Beyonce.
Surprise! Hope you enjoyed that video. We are about to send it over to Brian and Kristen, who are going to do some amazing worship this morning. And let's just celebrate being together here online. All right, over to you, Brian.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Brian. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks, Joey, for that great intro. Happy Sunday. This is one of my favorite times of the week, getting to hang out with everybody in the chat room. And with me is
Kristen. I hope you guys are doing super awesome, and I'm super excited to be hanging with you guys on Sunday.
So this week for worship, we are singing a song called Good Grace. This is one of my favorite songs of all time. I have a lot of favorite songs, but this one is like near the top. This song talks about coming together to worship Jesus. People from everywhere, from every tribe, every nation. Kristen, what's your favorite part of this song?
My favorite part is the entire chorus. It's just a really great reminder in all the lyrics there that Jesus is in control. He holds the world in his hands, and he doesn't want us to have a troubled heart, and he still sits on the throne.
That's so good. That's something that's just so easy to hear and so cute to put in a little, he's got the whole world in his hands. That's a cute little song to sing, but that's hard to live.
It is.
I wish I walked in that confidence daily better.
Yes.
Right?
It's hard, but it's good.
Yeah, so wherever you're at, will you stand up, will you turn your TV up, turn your phone up, and sing along? Here we go.
People come together, strangers, neighbors, our blood is one. Children of generations, of every nation, of kingdom come. So don't let your heart be troubled. Hold your head up high, don't fear no evil. Just fix your eyes on this one truth. God is madly in love with you. So take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where our help comes. let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sounds. All his children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. So swing wide, all you heavens, let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sounds. All his children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. Swing wide, all you heavens, let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sounds. All his children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unlock Church in the digital capacity. Thank you, Brian and Kristen, for hanging with us, sharing a little bit of music with us. If you're brand new around here, this is where Unlock Church has been meeting for the last, 12 weeks in a digital capacity. We've reached so many new people across the world. This is your home now. We love having you. Thank you for hanging with us. You're a first-time guest. We are so glad you're hanging with us, and hopefully you've come from the One Wheel Race video into here. And sadly, I experienced a defeat, and I'm not sure how to even process that. And today's teaching actually fits into the topic at hand, and you're gonna be left at the end of this going, did Scott throw the race just so he could use this as an illustration today? I'm gonna let you decide that. And Joey, well done, good win. I try to say it was a tire, which that tire is out of here. That was an awful tire. That's what I get for experimenting with different riding styles. Nonetheless, Joey, I'm coming for you. I don't like the taste of second in my mouth. I don't know how, Lily, you've done it this long. Seriously, girl. Woo! All right, so we're gonna switch it a little bit. Today, we wanna encourage and inspire you. We wanna do that every week. But in light of what's happening in the world over the last 12 weeks, and then what's happened in the last week and a half in the Twin Cities and other cities around the United States, it's time for us to be reminded that in a relationship with Jesus, we still can walk through moments of despair and sometimes tragedy and sometimes loneliness and still find encouragement. So we want to encourage you today. We want to hopefully make you become more of an encourager than a discourager. Isn't it better to be known as an encourager than discourager? However, some of you that are watching, your friends might not be telling you this, but you're more of a discourager than an encourager. And here's what I want us to do. I want those that maybe know that you're more discouraging. When you speak to someone, you see the glass half empty versus half full. You are Debbie Downer. I would like to move us to being positive and swing to a different side of way we see things, because we should be seeing life through the lens of Jesus. That being a follower of Jesus doesn't make us exempt from things happening in our life. It just means when we go through those things in life, we're not alone. And I want us as followers of Jesus, or even as a first-time guest here and you're not a follower of Jesus yet, that's okay. Man, if you're in process of trying to figure out who Jesus is, we totally give you permission to stay in process and to enjoy the journey that you're in. And maybe today we say something that would allow you to take a step in the direction of a relationship with Jesus. That's our hopes. And so we ask this question periodically here. What does Jesus say to you? What is Jesus saying to you, and what are you going to do about it? That's the question we ask, and so we pose the question to you today. What is Jesus saying to you, and what are you going to do about it? And some of you immediately are going, I'm the negative person, so what am I supposed to do about it? We hope over the next few moments to give you words to live by. And it first starts by this. Everyone you see is facing battles you don't know anything about. The people that you drive by that might be wearing masks inside their car, and you're going, why are they doing that? They're by themselves, and you formulate opinion about them immediately like that. what if you put yourselves in their shoes? Maybe they're so terrified that that's where they're at. And then all of a sudden you're moved to, how do I encourage those person instead of discouraging, instead of being negative towards what they're doing? You know how quick it is to just look at someone's situation and judge them immediately at where they're at and think that from where our vantage point is, their life is so put together. You ever think about those people that drive a certain car? You're like, oh, they must be wealthy. But do you actually know that? We make these prejudged judgments about people by the way they dress, who they're married to, where they live, their house, all these things. And that's not okay. That's not fair. That's not how we are wired. We must adopt this principle. Everyone you see is facing battles you don't know anything about. And when we live through that lens, it allows us to be more like Jesus to those people and go, okay, how do I find out how they're really doing instead of the generic, how are you doing? Fine, great. And that's all you get. Those that we're close enough with, we should really genuinely know how they are doing. And when we learn those things, we should be okay with stepping into the mess with them and encouraging them. You have no idea what God might do through a single word of encouragement. When we stop to just encourage everyone and not go, well, they're driving that car, they don't need encouragement. You don't know that. You don't know what God can do with a single word of encouragement to people. How do I know this? It's because when someone calls me, texts me, leaves, whatever, and encourages me, you know how I feel? I feel so good. I feel that, man, somebody notices the hard work, or someone noticed what we've done. When we used to travel as a family shopping and stuff, or let's be honest, Holly traveled with all 8 kids to Costco when that was a thing. And so many people would come up and they would encourage her and tell her, great job. I can't believe you're out here with all of your 8 kids. This is so tremendous. But then you also get the negative ones where people are like, oh, is this like some group home of yours? Like no one in the right mind would ever have 8 children. Well, good thing we know we're not in the right mind, but we do have 8 children. And you know what's funny about the words of encouragement and negativity is that you hold on to the words of negativity. It takes like 10 words or phrases of encouragement to trump one word or phrase of negative. And it probably even more for some of us out there, it's more than 10. And we remember more of the negative than we remember the positive. So remember, every person that you see are facing some kind of battle that you know nothing about. And may we be moved as humans to attach ourselves to people to get to know how they genuinely are doing, so we might be able to pour into them encouragement and breathe life into them. Now, do you have friends that they take more out of you? Have you ever had friends like this? This is your fault. You are in this spot in your life because you deserve this. You shouldn't have done the wrong thing. If you would have done the right thing, you wouldn't be here. Have you ever friends that just do that? Instead of encouraging where you're at, they try to rationalize and figure out why you are in the mess you are in. Instead of going, hey, you've got this. We can get out of this. I'll hold your hand. You ever have friends like that? Because there's a man in the Bible named Job. Job is an author of the Bible. Job also is spelled J-O-B, which if you're new to being a follower of Jesus, you would pronounce it as Job. Welcome to the English language and why it's so confusing when Job in the Bible is spelled like Job. I would say, I don't know why it's not Job. It's just Job. I can't actually tell you, but we got Job who loses everything in a day. Everything but his wife, and that's for an entirely different teaching, and all jokes not being said about that. He literally loses his kids, he loses his money, he loses his cattle, like all gone. And Job's sitting around the fireplace and his friends are coming to him. They begin to just be that suck, that void, the black hole of an abyss. And I want you to hear what Job writes about his friends. And is this you as a friend? Or do you know, can you put a name to the friends that do this to you? So in Job chapter 16, verse 2, Job writes, I have heard all of this before. What miserable comforters you are. Won't you ever stop blowing hot air? What makes you keep on talking? I could say the same things if you were in my place. I could spout off criticism and shake my head at you. But if it were me, I would encourage you. I would try to take away your grief. I love Job's like learning from his own experience. He's like, hey, I wouldn't do what you're doing. He's really saying, you suck as a friend. Like, pour into me. Be a life giver, not a life taker. Build me up. Don't tear me down. What are you? Are you a builder up of people or a tearer down? And I know tearer down isn't even a word, but you follow with me, right? Like, who are you known as? Do you see what's happening in the world right now and you just speak poorly of groups of people and speak negatively of, instead of being an encourager and maybe diverting negative energy and encouraging them this direction? You might see society take a shift if we would get on our social media posts and encourage people to do the right thing, see the best in people and not see the worst in people. I understand human nature. It's really nasty. Human nature is. It's all about self-preservation or preservation. It's all about what I want and what I need. I have to train myself to think about other people. I have to train myself to ask myself, what does love require? It is a training. It is constantly take captive of my mind so that my actions follow what I really actually want to do in my mind. It is work. And I can use all the encouragement to continue to do the right thing. So can those in the world right now that aren't doing the right thing, or you have a judgment about. What if you move to figure out how to encourage them? Or those on Facebook that you find yourself spouting with a lot, sparring face to face on political topics and the way things are handled. What if you move to encourage them instead of being what Job's saying, hey, I know who you are. I could do the same thing to you, but I will choose to encourage you when I'm in your spot. Are your words building up or tearing down? Are your words motivating people to do the right thing or discouraging people? Are you pointing out the problems versus being a part of the solution? I love what the wisest man to ever live wrote in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21. The tongue can bring death or life. Those who love to talk will reap the consequences. The wisest man to ever, he's like, listen, the tongue at one point will give worth and love to God. God, I love you. God, I give you worth because you sent your son Jesus down on the cross, and we worship him through songs and words, give him worth, and then we can turn around and the very thing God created in his image, which is humans, he did that out of love and gave his son for love. We then sit there and tear those people apart. We make fun of them. We point out their flaws and we point out their shortcomings, and we just bombard them with negative thoughts and not uplifting them. I've read in a lot of leadership books, it's the sandwich. I don't know what it's actually called, but that's all I can remember. It's like where you build somebody up, you truth tell a little bit of the criticism, what they need to work on, and then you build them back up. It's like it's just that, right? So as long as I start positive and end positive, we're good. And it's not that case. It's okay, I'm going to build them up. I'm going to be a truth teller. This isn't about lying. Don't go out of here and go, okay, so that means I have to always lie to people. If I don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. Unless you're going to use candor and you're going to be a truth teller in love. Don't just be a truth teller to be a truth teller. I grew up with a father that thought that he needed to tell me everything without love. And those hurt worse because of who my dad is, the position my dad held in my life at that time when he'd speak into my life. And it might be truth, but it wasn't in love. It hurt way more than words of discouragement because I could figure it out. But when it's truth, and it's meant to build me up or help me get better, but it's not, it's just negative, it hurts worse. So if you want to be a truth teller to those that you love, and you need to be, trust me, be a truth teller. Make sure that comes off as loving truth and not criticizing truth, because the results are very different. It builds up one and the other tears down. Who do you want to be known as? This is up to you. Are you going to be an encourager or discourager? One of my favorite presidents of the past is Theodore Roosevelt. I love his leadership quotes. I love books about him. And again, I wasn't alive when he was a president, and so I don't know detail. The way he's wrote in the history books is like this just guy that overcomes everything. I love the quote where they talk about that when he died, death had to take him in his sleep, because if he was awake, he would have put up a big fight and won. That just to me, like, oh man, I like that. That's like something I would love to be quoted about me at some point, is that Scott lived life and he just always was going after it, and death had to take him in his sleep, because if not, Scott would have fought him and won. I just like that. There's something about it. And so Theodore Roosevelt, I like it. And Theodore Roosevelt made a tour after his presidency, and he was doing speeches all over the world. After big hunting expeditions and stuff, he started traveling, and I don't know why he was traveling, but I believe it's on April 23rd, 1910, he's speaking in front of a group of people that now we call the critic's speech, and he begins to paint this story, a really long quote. It's one of my favorites, and I want to read it.
It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who actually is in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcomings, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasm, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of a high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.
It's like all of you that wrote in the chat room today about my defeat. And you're like, whoa, Scott finally lost. And you're like, punching me. Look, the credit goes to the guy that rode the one wheel and went out there and put in the work and rubber to... I'm just messing with you. It really is like, so you're like, whoa, ease up, Scott. But seriously, did I lose that just so I could use this as an illustration? Things to ponder today on Sunday. Joey, you did well, man. You won well. You did good. You are the winner, my friend. But maybe I gave it to you. Okay, that quote, I absolutely love that. I love where the credit is the person that's getting it done. The credit in life goes to the person that lives life the best. The ones that have tried and failed but keep trying. Those that aren't stopped by the critics in the world that points out, oh, their jab is a little like not good, or they're not fast enough, or they're not built to certain... The credit doesn't go to the critic. We live in a culture right now where it seems like the credit goes to those that critique everything. People speak and other people figure out how to critique to what they just said. Ooh, I don't like the way they said that. It's been interesting. We are okay partnering up with people as long as they agree and say the things we want them to say. But the minute they say something we don't agree with, we can't be friends anymore. And that just can't be how a world should function. The world needs to be filled with diversity. When thoughts and skin tone and everything in between, diversity is a beautiful thing, and that's what we need to strive for and be okay with that. We cannot be okay with trying to make everyone see life the way I see it. Now, when it comes to humans, when it comes to human rights, yeah, that's an all skate, all play for everyone. Everyone has the same equal rights, and justice needs to be done. That doesn't change. That's not bendable. That's not flexible. That's an all play, all skate, all the time. Jesus died on the cross for every last one of us, every person, the best of the best and the worst of the worst. Jesus died on the cross knowing that the best would be the best and knowing the worst would still be the worst. And he still died for those that drove the nails through his hands. I know you know that, but we got to live in a way that we know that. Knowing and acting with what we know is different than just knowing it. It's like we got to have it travel from our head to our heart, because when it's in our heart, we will have action that follows that. We will love those that are very hard to love. We will open up our homes to those that make us feel a little awkward at times. We will be Jesus to those that need Jesus. It's easy to be Jesus to those that already have Jesus. They know where you're coming from, and they agree with where you're coming from. But those that don't know Jesus, those that aren't doing the right things to what you would say, those are the ones that need Jesus. And what are you doing to go get them? And what are you doing to be in their life? What are you doing? Are you just sitting on the sidelines critiquing what they're doing? Are you sitting on the sidelines with your thumbs and just saying, with no skin in the game? It's time for us as followers of Jesus to get into the game, and it starts with encouraging people to do the right thing. Encouraging people, speak life into people. Stop tearing people down. That's easy. That's immature. Stop doing it. Build people up, lift people up, motivate people, inspire people to do great things. I love what the author in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24 says. Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. Let us spend time on thinking about motivating people. When was the last time you took a pause in the day to think about how do I motivate my wife in acts of love? When was the last time I spent time thinking about how to motivate my children in love or my coworkers? When was I'm gonna be honest. I have not done that. I've not paused in a day. I've not thought about that. I would like to say I would. It'd be really good. But this is something for me to work on. I've got to take what the author of Hebrews is saying here, and I need to think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. And they go on, and let us not neglect our meetings together as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now. As you're a follower of Jesus, we are called to encourage each other, motivate each other in acts of love. That we're called to do that. When we put on the Jesus jersey, when I become a follower of Jesus, I'm saying I'm going to motivate people in acts of love. I'm going to encourage each other. I'm going to build people up to do the right thing. I'm not going to be filled with fluff and lies and just this shallow stuff. Oh, you're the best ever. You're the greatest. No, authentic words of encouragement are far greater than fake, fluffy words of encouragement. They mean entirely different things. The other day, Icon had finished her 4-mile run. It was a little warm, but she didn't run it to her potential. And so I came out, the runner coach in me, and I was like, okay, we got to work on that. We're going to do 3 down and back sprints from here to the stop sign, 3 of them. But I want them all to be faster than the last. And I would count her down, 1, 2, 3, go! And she runs and comes back. I could see on the second one, it was a little bit harder. She wasn't running as fast as she could. She kind of had a little bit of a pout face on. And then the third one, I was like, you got this. I was screaming the whole time, let's go faster, faster. And as I encouraged her and I motivated her, you know what? Her arms started pumping better. Her little pigtails started flopping all over the place faster and faster. She runs faster and the fastest. Why? Because I took a moment out of my day to inspire, encourage her in a physical act of things. Now imagine if we could figure out how to encourage those to do the right thing. I know you are sitting somewhere and you can see if somebody's doing the wrong thing. And what we do is just point out, stop doing that. Don't do that anymore. And we smack their hand instead of encouraging them to do the right thing, to come along and say, okay, can I just show you what happens if you continue this direction? And if you make a slight shift, you're going to go this direction. This will be much better for your life. Those are ways to be truth teller in love and encouraging in the right thing, and also calling people on some of the things they're not doing right. Let's be honest. We've all seen people posting things in the last week on a very sensitive topic that we're like, eek, whoop, yike. Some aren't posting anything because they don't want that criticism. And I can understand that. But those that see it and want to get quick to fire up the thumbs or the keyboard, be careful that you're just critiquing them because you want to encourage them to move from whatever you view, and make sure if it's something, it better be something that you know is a Jesus principle they're breaking and not a personal preference they're breaking. And then move them back to becoming more like Jesus. That's really what needs to work us up. When we look at, that's not what a follower of Jesus, that's not what Jesus came on the earth to do. Then we get fired up and move them towards Jesus. Not my personal opinion. So maybe we need to have a filter. Is this a personal problem I have? Or is this a problem I have because this violates a Jesus principle? And if it violates a Jesus principle, you better figure out, and I better figure out, how to encourage in love to make a shift. And it's not just shaking my finger at them and telling them they're doing the wrong thing. That's not what Jesus did. Jesus did not smack people and walk away. He was authentic. He did it in love, and he never gave up on anyone. I know you need encouragement because I need encouragement. And because I need it, I'm going to give it. And I'm not just going to give it, I'm going to give it generously. It's knowing I could use some encouragement, so therefore I'm generously going to give encouragement to people when I meet them, talk to them, text them. We have a thing here at Unlocked Church when we send an email or we send a text, it's always, for the most part, Not 100% of the time, but it's usually, hey, how are you doing? What a great morning. Starting with a positive note and then get to the question instead of just going, hey, I need this file from you. Or, hey, what time are we meeting up? It's like, hey, how are you doing? It's just being positive. It's pouring in a little bit of encouragement when I'm texting somebody. If you're sitting where you're sitting and you're like, I'm not very good at encouraging. I love to tell the truth. And I might be a critic at times, but that comes naturally. But to be an encourager, that's just not my thing. Here's the deal. Revolution just turned 1. And the dude just walked this week. He wasn't very good at it at the beginning. He actually didn't even know how to do it. But you know what? He learned it. Same with you. You can learn how to be an encourager. You need to apply this. It's not okay for you to be okay with being the negative or seeing the glass half empty. That's not okay. It's time to move to be the encourager. That's what the author in Hebrews, may we motivate and inspire each other. May we recognize that our tongue is a double-edged sword that gives life and tears down, and may I be known for giving more life than I tear down. And when I realize I tear down, may I apologize quickly. And as I said before, sometimes the person that needs the most encouragement is myself. And so now what? How do we encourage ourselves? There's a story with one of my favorite guys in the Bible, King David. He went to go to battle with the Philistines. And when he showed up, the Philistines were like, dude, you were our enemy like just the other day. There's no way we're going to let you fight. You're going to turn against us, so go home. While they were there, their camp was decimated. All the women and children stolen and taken away, and their tents burned to the ground. David and his men, who are his closest allies and friends, go back to where their tents have been decimated and their families have been stolen. And this place was Ziklag, is where the camp was. They show up there and it's all gone. And all of a sudden his friends turn on him, get real negative, and they decide they're going to kill him. They're going to stone him. That's where we find this. You think you'd be a little discouraged, a little distraught, need a little bit of encouragement at that moment when everyone else turns against you and you just lost everything and you were just scared out of your mind? All of a sudden you need some encouragement? I don't know about you, but when we were in the quarantine stage and not talking to everybody, I needed some encouragement sometimes. Not sleeping on Saturday night to get the videos posted, and I'm tired and cranky. I needed somebody to come along and go, Scott, I love you, thanks for what you're doing. And people didn't know what was happening. And so I had to find some way to continue to motivate and encourage myself. And when I read this story in that point in my life, it was like, look at what David did. So what does David do? He's at a moment of just losing his mind. Here's what he does. 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 6. David was now in greater danger because all his men were very bitter about losing their sons and daughters. They began to talk of stoning him. But David found strength in the Lord, his God. Where did David find his strength? In God, in his relationship with God. Where was he encouraged? His relationship with God. The original word that was used is chizak, which means to encourage yourselves, to really talk to yourself. It means is to sit there and go, you got this. But it's more than you got this. You're going to finish the Ironman, Scott. Because, man, trust me, in my Ironman races, I talk to myself a lot. Scott, you got this. One more mile. You got to do one more mile, man. Keep running. Don't walk right now. Don't stop. I don't care if your knees hurt right now. You keep running. That is a version of chizak we're talking about here. We've got David here talking to himself, but not go one more mile, you can handle this. It's talking to himself to do the Jesus things, to do the godly things here. He's motivating himself to, hey, my worth is found in God. He's talking to himself, but inside the context of what does Jesus have to say about his life. I want to jump into the King James Version because this is where I get this whole concept of encouraging ourselves in the Lord. King James is just another version of the Bible. And here's what it says in 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 6. But David encouraged himself in the Lord. We read it a second ago. David found strength in the Lord. He encouraged himself in the Lord because he was reminding himself, wait, I am a somebody. What does God have to say about me? That you are a daughter of a king, that you are a son of a king. And if you are an heir to a throne, don't you think the king's going to take care of you? And the king is Jesus. He's the King of kings and the Lord of lords. That should puff you up a little bit. Wait, I am a daughter of a king, a son of a king. There are plans in my life that the king loves me. And isn't the king going to give me great things? Yes, but I don't know if the great things you think are great is actually what God says is great. You might think $1 million in unmarked bills, small unmarked bills, is great. And God's shaking his head going, no, that would just destroy you. What you need is to feel loved right now. That's the great things you need. And that should encourage us. If you aren't moving yourself into times of worship through the week and reading your Bible throughout the week, then you're missing this point where God can encourage you. And you're going to find it very hard when you're discouraged and by yourself to find strength in the Lord. Why do we have memory verses at camp? Because we want to tuck that in the hearts of kids so that when they are adults and facing trials of many kinds, they will be able to untuck those from their hearts and go, this is what God has to say for me or about me. It's their ability now to encourage themselves in the Lord. Later on in 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 8, just a couple, we find where David asked the Lord, should I chase after the band of raiders? Will I catch them? And the Lord told him, yes, go after them. You will surely recover everything they have taken from you. I read this earlier this week. Positive words are difficult to remember. Negative words are difficult to forget. The brain believes negative thoughts immediately. So those that study the brain, they say that a negative thought, I don't need to fact check it. It's just truth. Positive thoughts, it takes up to 15 seconds for the brain to begin to take it seriously or to believe. 15 seconds delay on truth, but negative immediately. That should wake some of us up and stir us up. That's why it's so hard when you hear the negative thing to forget it and to be overcome with other people going, no, I really love you and I care about you. It's hard to do that leadership sandwich because the negative thing's so loud and I can't forget it. This is why, because the brain automatically goes to it. We've said it repeatedly. An active brain thinks 70,000 thoughts a day and 40,000 of them are negative. Think about that one. Here's our response today. Today, it's a little bit more practical things today. It's you finding who do you need to encourage this week? Who are 15 people that you can text or call or write an email to that you could encourage? Who is it that you right now comes to your mind? If you're driving this week or out on a run and somebody comes to your mind, stop and text them. That's God tapping you on the heart saying, hey, that person needs to be encouraged this week. I often do it. I'm the guy that leaves voice memos for people so people can hear my voice, and if I'm being funny, they know I'm being funny, and I'm way better at the voice language than I am the English language being text, and I don't like spell correct and all those things, and no one knows if I'm being serious or laugh out loud. Just, it's easier. And I'll be on runs, and I'll just go, hey Siri, give a memo to Andy Block, let him know he's awesome, and I can't believe how good he is at his amazing sport, can jam, and just an easy, quick, or hey, Tim Bailey, man, you inspire me in the way you run and the way you raised your family. Just quick notes of encouragement like that. Or Matt Vernon, man, I love how you serve your family and you work on things outside for your lovely wife to give her the deck and build gardens and you know how to build toys. Or Bill, I don't know if you're watching, Bill, but man, Bill, what you've built with your hands I'm sitting on a stool that you built, man. Your ability to build things is next level. It's amazing. I have a picnic bench that you built. Amazing. Abijah. Bro, I'm so glad that God brought you to Unlocked Church because you are phenomenal. The way you see people in life, the way you think is so genuine. You're one of the most authentic people I get to do life with. And then you have the ability to work on things and be... Did anyone see the dog he made move the other day? Seriously. He built something that makes a dog move. It's just amazing. We have so many people in this church that are amazing people and they need to know it. And I can't spend all day, I can, but I can't spend all day and I'm trying to off the top of my head remember names and inspire and encourage you and just say thank you to all of you for how awesome you are. Now let each other know that and breathe life into people. This isn't talking about costing you money. It's just time. Be an encourager. And then the second part of this, after you do at least 15 people and spread it out, is to sit down. Now, this one's going to take a bit of time, and I hope somebody does this because this is for you. I want you to write down, and I want you to write 100 things about yourself that are encouraging, that you're good at, your abilities. And sprinkled and peppered inside those 100 things is to write, what does Jesus have to say about you? Daughter of a king, son of a king. What are the things he's got for you? And write those truths down, because I promise you this, when the darkness creeps back in and you feel alone, you're going to want to open up wherever those 100 things are, and it will encourage you right where you are. It will encourage yourself in the Lord. What are verses that inspire you to keep going? What are those things? You need to have a plan when you feel discouraged, a way to get yourself encouraged again. That you're going to be a truth teller to other people, just admitting, hey, I'm tired and I'm worn out and I need somebody to go, hey, love you. You're awesome. I see great things in you. I see great things in you. I loved our season of small groups over the last 12 weeks, the digital small groups. Absolutely loved those. Just hearing, like, when Chris Gilbert was having a rough day and he'd share it and you just be able to pray with him and know his heart. Oh my gosh, we learned so much about so many of your heart, because I saw you 3 times a week. And to just hear Chris as he handles food and what breaks his heart when they lost some product. They're like, I know that food could have been great for this group of people. And just to learn about his heart and his love for people. Chris, you're doing a great job, man. You're inspiring. To see you, Chris, in your kids' videos this week, man, makes me need to step up my game as a dad. I love how you're involved with your kids and your family. Keep doing what you're doing, Chris. You're doing a great job. And those names that popped up, that you're not in the notes, okay? Here, I don't think you can read any of it, but your names aren't there. If your name came up, God must wanted to just smile on you a little bit. He's winking at you today. And I love every one of you. So awesome and grateful for you guys. And we have some really cool things that we're going to talk about right after I pray about the next season of Unlocked Church. Let's pray really quick. Jesus, I hope this is for somebody today, that we would first move to encourage and inspire people towards greatness. That we would look for opportunities to do that, and that you would drop 15 people's names on our heart to take care of this week and every day, encourage people. And us, as we find ourselves discouraged, that we would move ourselves to come underneath your wing, and that you would give us the strength, and we would rise up like eagles, and you would renew our youth foundation, and we would feel young and alive. God, we just ask for those things, those people that are discouraged right now, that today they wouldn't forget that they are created in your image, that you love them, you know who they are, and you have great plans for them. May we be a voice to a generation on how to love people. And to answer the question, what does love require us to do? Jesus, we absolutely love you. We ask that there would be justice for everyone, that there would be equality for everyone, that it would be right in your eyes. Did you give wisdom to those that need to make the correction, and wisdom for us in conversations, that we would know how to say things in the right way to say it, and we would get into the conversation, and we would breathe love and life into the conversation of racism and injustice. Jesus, we love you. In your name, amen. We're going to throw it to Joey really quick, and then after that, we're going to give you what is the next step of Unlocked Church as we move towards gathering again as Unlocked Church in a public place. That's going to all happen right after this.
Hello everybody, the dad is back. I hope you enjoyed Scott's teaching. He killed it. I am here to talk about giving. Here at Unlocked Church, we always have an opportunity for you to be obedient and give. I always give, as the youth directors, I always challenge our students every single week in different things, either spiritually, physically, or a video, whatever it is. I challenge them. And today I want to challenge you to take a step in obedience and give. And you never know what God will do with the resources that you give, because it can make a huge difference in somebody's life. And there are a few ways that you can give here at Unlocked Church. The first way is you can text 77977 and follow the steps that way, or you can go to the Unlocked Church website and click give, and then follow the directions from there. It is very simple, but those are two ways that you can give, and I am going to send it back to Scott, who has some important information for you to hear.
Thank you, Joey, so much. Man, can you believe that he's going to be a dad? Joey, you're going to be a phenomenal dad. I watch what you do with students, and bro, you got it. You know how to love young people. You're going to be a great dad. Michaela, you're going to be a great and phenomenal mom. So proud of you two. Can't wait to meet the little guy or the little girl. Lily, Kristen, take us away on your one wheels.
What's up, everybody? I'm Lily, and this is Kristen. And we have some upcoming events for you all. We came out of a race today on our one wheels and thought, why not just stay on our one wheels to give you guys some upcoming events.
It's the best way to travel.
It's the best way to travel. If you don't have one, you need one, especially now that we're starting the summer.
I know, it's the perfect time to get around in the summer. You don't want to use your car because you want to be able to enjoy the summer.
You want to be able to enjoy the summer weather. You also want to be able to enjoy the summer with friends, with family, and with your church. So we have some exciting upcoming events for you all regarding the summer.
Okay, so our first summer update is that we will be doing our online digital services all the way through July 5th. And what our digital services include are our worship live experiences on Instagram
Which
Live.
I've loved. So fun.
They're so fun.
You guys
to do.
are doing awesome.
Those start at 9:30, and then we just throw it right to YouTube where we have our online chat and our lobby experience with our live video that usually contains a one-wheel race.
Usually, because
in
they're
some
fun.
form.
Because they're fun.
Because they're so fun,
and you laugh at us. So entertaining.
Yeah, it's just fun and entertaining, and that's just kind of like where we get to hang out. It's the lobby experience on Sunday, and then that video goes straight to our teaching and worship experience, and those are just so encouraging and so good. Scott does such a good job at speaking right to us and right in our situation that's happening.
All right, and I also have an upcoming event for our lovely, lovely kids and youth. That's right, we have upcoming events for you all and summer schedules. So if you're hanging with me in the digital small groups, if you're a kid, we will be together on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Okay, guys? Tuesdays at 11 a.m. You all better be in there. It's going to be so much fun to be together over the summer, and I have a lot of fun things planned for that. And also, Joey and Michaela are going to be doing youth like normal on Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. starting online. And then Joey always puts together phenomenal teaching.
The best.
For you guys. They're learning so much.
I love it. And I also jump in there and
pretend we're youth.
We're
like
just
it's
pretend
no big
like
deal.
we're the same age and it's fine. Most of them are taller than me anyway, so I feel like I fit right in. Lily, have you missed hanging out with people?
Yes, I have. I've missed
too.
the kids.
I've missed all the chaos.
I miss
and
all
the
of it.
kids.
I miss all of it. Why? What are you saying?
Well, starting this Thursday, we're gonna be doing park hangouts. At Cedar Island.
Right here. Right
in
here.
A parking lot.
Let's do like a little 360, like right here. Right here.
You see?
Right in the parking lot
Isn't it so
area, tailgate hangout.
We're gonna be playing games like Can Jam,
cornhole or bags if you're
Minnesota.
bags.
If you're from Minnesota.
We're gonna socially distance,
Frisbee.
hang out, play frisbee. Bring dinner if you want to.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a picnic little party.
Okay.
It's gonna be so fun.
Starting this Thursday.
Starting this Thursday.
What time should I show up?
You should show up at 6:30, and it's from 6:30 to 8.
6:30 to 8. I'll be there. Yeah, I miss people.
I do too.
I miss hanging out in people's homes and like getting to eat their snacks.
Having some snacks.
I like eating other people's snacks, okay?
Me too.
Should we start watching church on Sundays at people's houses?
I think that's a great idea.
Are we allowed to make that decision?
I think we can.
Okay.
I think we're allowed.
Viewing parties are officially allowed. They're started.
They're starting.
I know we didn't make that call. It's been made.
It's been made.
You know, like everyone's like, yeah, let's do that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, we don't have that much power.
If you want to have a viewing party at your house, you should do that.
You should do that. And if you want to attend people's viewing parties, just email info@unlockedchurch.com and we will make sure that we get you plugged in to a house so that you are able to go and watch service with your community and some other people.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go to someone's house this weekend to watch a viewing party.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
We'll be there. Get ready. We're coming into your home.
I'm coming in and I'm going to eat all your chips.
So between now and July 5th, that first weekend of July, viewing parties can take place in people's homes.
Mm-hmm.
Do it up. Have a blast.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Invite people from Unlock and your neighbors and your friends and your family.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see you at the viewing parties, and we're just gonna hand this back over to Scott, and I'm sure he'll be laughing at us.
Most of the time.
But no Doritos for you, Scott.
All right, I hope that makes sense to all of you. Please email if you want to be a part of those house groups, those viewing parties. We invite you to, if you're like ready to get back and you really want to be a part of those, get into a viewing party. So what you need to do is email us saying, I want to host, or I want to go, and we're going to connect the two and allow you guys to have viewing parties and enjoy that. We are baby stepping our way back as we learn more about what is okay and not okay in the future. We want to make sure that we keep all of you safe and healthy to our best of our understanding, okay? If you're not comfortable going to a house party, that's okay. Continue to view where you are in your home. We just want to provide opportunities for us to all connect and be around each other. And if you want to show up on Thursday at Cedar Island at 6:30 with your one wheels or electric skateboards or race cars or anything, bring them. Let's make it a party. May it be something that people drive by and go, I want to be a part of that. We are allowed to have at least 250 people in the parking lot of the school. I say, let's do it, but keep 6 feet apart, people. Can't wait to see you on Thursday, guys. Have a lovely, lovely week. For those that are in other countries, you're like, but I don't get to be there on Thursday. We'll see you next Sunday right here in the chat room. Love every one of you. Bye now.